Hello, welcome to the Wulff Den. Today we're going to be discussing
how Obamacare is screwing up the economy in more ways than you can possibly imagine. I'm just kidding, we're talking about the Sega Genesis.
Oh, you had me worried.
What is Obamacare like a car or something? I have no idea even.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Today we're going to talk about how we grew up with Sega and what that meant for us.
Let's take you back to about 1991.
I was 2. You were 4-ish.
Give or take. We're not doing math. We had a Nintendo Entertainment System growing up.
Yes, so our first console was an NES.
We don't know how it got in the house. We don't know who bought it.
It just appeared.
It's just there. We had 2 games.
Presumably bought before we were born.
Yes. That's the theory we have right now.
What 2 games do we have?
We had the Mario Duck Hunt Split.
Yes.
And Super Mario 3.
I didn't know that about Super Mario 3.
What, that we had it?
That we had it, yeah. I thought...
we bought that afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I wasn't sure.
We had Super Mario Duck Hunt and Super Mario 3.
So
that was it.
The first game I ever played in my entire life was Super Mario.
Yep.
The first one, the original.
Yep.
That's why I'm so damn good at it.
So that's why we know what we're talking about when we talk about games. So, yeah, around 1991, this guy came into the picture. And like most kids, that was enough to sway us to want to get the Sega Genesis, I would say.
Yes.
There are 3 revisions of the Genesis. There was the Model 1, which is rather large. There was the Model 2, which I believe came out in 91, 92. And then the Model 3, which came out in like 98, when nobody cared about the Sega Genesis anymore. I remember when we got the Sega Genesis. It was Christmas. On Christmas Eve, we got Miss Pac-Man for the Sega Genesis. And on Christmas Day, we got the actual system.
But yeah, what game did we get for Sega Genesis? Oh no, we got Miss Pac-Man.
It came with Sonic 2.
Came with Sonic 2.
Came with Sonic 2.
You know, we didn't get Sonic 1 for a really long time.
Yeah, no, we got that.
Still don't like Sonic 1 that much.
Sonic 1 has... the reason why Sonic 1 hasn't aged well...
very important.
Yes, that was it. That one move changes everything.
Yeah. So yeah, we got... Yeah.
I can just pull the games out. Just go over...
Yeah, pull the games out. For the record, Aladdin on Sega Genesis and Aladdin on Super Nintendo, very, very different. Aladdin on the Sega Genesis,
far superior.
Vastly superior.
The thing is, back then, and this happened mostly with like licensed games like Aladdin or the Batman games and so on, they were made often by 2 different, vastly different companies. Sega actually did a lot of their games in-house. So like Aladdin, well no, not Aladdin, but like the Batman games were done by Sega, whereas on Super Nintendo those were done by Konami. Or Ghostbusters was done by Sega on Genesis, whereas on Nintendo was done by Activision. So forth and so on.
I don't think it was so easy to port them over between systems back then.
There were games that were very similar, like Earthworm Jim or Shaq Fu, games like that.
Of all the games.
Don't ask me why that's the first one that came to my mind. But yeah.
Are these all the games?
No, I got more.
First of all, Altered Beast. Never played it.
That was not a game we got when it came out.
I think I bought this last year.
Yeah.
I was shaking it. I was like, the artwork is beautiful though.
Yeah.
Beautiful artwork.
The good thing about Sega Genesis is that in most cases the boxes stay intact.
I'm going to start talking about games while you're doing this.
Start talking about
Beavis and Butthead, another one we purchased recently.
Although I remember renting that.
We rented the hell out of this. MA13, that's interesting.
Yeah, that predated the rating system. So before, like when games were starting to become controversial thanks to this bad boy, Mortal Kombat. This is the second one. Sega created their own rating system to try to...
Did we get this before Mortal Kombat 1?
Probably.
These boxes being broken is driving me
A lot
crazy.
yeah.
I don't remember. Which X-Men was this?
That was the... That's not the good one. That's the one. That's the one right before. That was the pretty good one. Let's see.
The Clone Wars was the good
Clone Wars was the good one.
Yo, great games right here.
I know we have.
Vector Man.
Yeah, it's a shame because I wish they would bring those two games back, like a modern day Vector Man, but at the same time, I'm glad they haven't because I know it would be terrible.
You know, this game wasn't too bad either. Virtua Fighter?
On the Genesis, it was.
I thought it was alright. You know, I was pretty damn good at it.
It was so slow and so
Yeah, I
boring.
thought that was fun.
Oh my god.
Terminator 2, this was a terrible game.
Oh, yeah. Terminator 2, the
you
arcade
you don't
game.
have a gun, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a terrible game. Sonic 3, one of my favorite games of all time.
And Sonic and Knuckles. You put the two together and you get
ecstasy.
You
Pure ecstasy.
in my opinion, the finest 2D side-scroller in existence.
And it stands on its own. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
It stands on its own because it's unrivaled. And we got Sonic 1, which I'll put back here because it sucks.
Doesn't hold up. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
It had like everybody ever.
Yeah. This was definitely one of the better ones. Now, going back to the whole games on Genesis versus games on Super Nintendo. The usual way it goes is because the Super Nintendo had better hardware, those games were better when they came out on both systems. No matter what anybody tells you, that is not the case for the original Mortal Kombat because that one had blood and fatalities. And that makes the world of difference with Mortal Kombat. Another thing that everybody talks about the Genesis being inferior to the Super Nintendo is in sound. Because the Super Nintendo had like a better sound chip. And so everything that came out of it always sounded big and symphonic and like you're going to see an orchestra in chiptune form. Whereas the Genesis, the sound chip wasn't as powerful. So everything really sounded like a brand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, a Genesis game.
Very memorable.
Yeah. But, I mean, when done right, it sounds like a punk metal type sound. It really does. And I think the Genesis came out with some great tunes. What else we got here? Sonic 2, the game.
Sonic 2.
The game came with the
Our start in video
Miss
game.
Pac-Man, the first game we ever got for Sega Genesis.
Yes. Let me see how this goes. This is a good looking game still.
Yeah. Maximum Carnage. Now this is a game that really doesn't hold up, but it was really fun back in the day.
We got here. WrestleMania the arcade game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. Oh no. Was it Raw?
Raw was the good one.
Raw. Let me tell you a little story about Raw. We used to rent that all the time.
Yeah.
And then we got it and we rented it and then we forgot about it. And then Blockbuster had a really we got into a big fight with Blockbuster because they wanted us to pay more than the cartridge was worth. Like,
oh yeah.
It was like they wanted like $70 or something.
Yeah.
So we were like, no, we'll just keep the game. And
Yeah.
And then I think we eventually gave it back.
Probably. I feel like we had to at some point.
But we had it for like a year.
Yeah. Here it is. It's this one.
Yes. Of course.
Cyborg Justice.
The first game we tried to Let's Play on this channel. And we couldn't because our capture card doesn't do retro games. I don't want to talk about this too much because I really want to do a Let's Play.
We really want to show you guys this game.
This used to be one of my favorite games on the system. And
now it's like one of your least favorite games.
oh my god, going back to it, oh my god. This is the definition of not holding up.
Speaking of games that I used to love back in the day but now hate, Batman Forever.
Oh yeah.
This game,
I quickly learned to hate that.
Oh my God.
Within a couple of years.
I used to play this so much that I could unlock every secret in the first level. But God.
It was a multiplayer game. Like we could both play it again. I think that's why we played it. It was because we both played at the same time.
But oh my God, this game sucks.
That's a really bad one.
Now, we also have I think we have every Sonic game on the Genesis.
We made it a point to do that.
Yeah. Like
I remember. We went back and bought as much as we could.
I don't know where it is, because we also have Sonic 3D Blast.
Yes. That is not a good game.
No. Sonic Spinball. People don't like this game.
That's a good game.
I love this game.
That's a good game.
This is still a really good game. So whoever says it's not a good game, punch them, because they're lying to you.
I think that's it.
No, because I know we have X-Men 2 somewhere. Are you sure? I'm positive.
I think that's on my wish list on Amazon. The Clone Wars one. The one where you start off in the snow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on my wish list.
No.
I don't think we ever had that.
It's not on there. These are the only 2 games you have.
Oh, screw you. It was probably on there at one point.
Anyway, continue.
The point is, we never had it.
Right. We never had it originally. I'm pretty sure we have it now. When this is over, I'll look for it.
Oh, what? Did you think you bought it or I bought it?
Yeah.
Wanting to get a Super Nintendo because we just got one. What? You bought me one for
your birthday 2 years last year, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. With our Super Nintendo, we got Megaman X, which is one of my favorite games of all time that I never played. We got Megaman X and
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World because you need Super Mario World. Now, I'm a huge Mario fan. I don't think we missed out much not having a Super Nintendo.
No.
I mean, Super Mario RPG I heard was amazing. I don't think I would be into that.
Yeah.
I'm not into RPGs.
Especially the older school, like Japanese style RPGs.
We did have the joysticks.
We did. We had... Because in addition to having the regular controllers, they're here somewhere. Anyway.
Should have maybe gotten all this out.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I have to now.
Don't. That's... We also... This is, again, after the fact. Ren and Stimpy, Stimpy's Invention. This one actually wasn't bad.
Oh, I forgot about this one.
And... Well, the box is empty, but Spider-Man versus the Kingpin.
Don't we have... we never got the Animaniacs game?
No.
We rented that.
We rented that. I'm trying to find out where those damn sticks are.
Yeah, no more games. I can't fit anymore.
So we had the standard regular Genesis controllers. And we also had the one with the 6 buttons. But then...
We got...
Our dear grandfather got us...
He did?
Yeah. Oh. 2 of these bad boys.
Ah, you... Son of a... What a nice guy.
This was the best way to play the Genesis back
Especially
in
a
the day.
fighting game. Then we never got the 32X or
the Sega CD.
Or the Sega CD.
Those were stupid.
Yeah, those are stupid.
I
We
mean,
missed out on one of the best Sonic games, supposedly.
We eventually got that after.
You know,
Sonic CD. The thing with Sonic,
I still think Sonic 3.
Yeah, Sonic CD is weird, and you probably just broke it.
Those are staying like that.
And this is just a small sample of all the games that were on the Sega Genesis, also known as the Mega Drive in territories that aren't America.
We rented a lot from Blockbuster back then.
The Shinobi game, Revenge of Shinobi,
Oh,
and
we don't
Shinobi
have
3.
that.
We don't. Those are games
on
we
my
should
wish
own.
list right now.
Yeah.
That's another one of my favorite games.
Yeah, serious.
For one of my favorite 16-bit games. 16-bit?
16-bit. Yeah. Those two were definitely classics. Outrun's a really good game.
I don't remember that one.
That was that's that driving game where you're in the red car and you got your girlfriend yelling at you.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was Rise Star, which I didn't play until well after. That's a very, very good game. That's built on the Sonic 3 engine.
I don't know that one. Oh yes,
Yeah.
I know that one now. Ninja Turtles was for...
That was the one I was thinking of. The Hyperstone Heist.
What's that?
That's basically the Genesis version of Turtles in Time. Yes.
Okay then. That answers my question.
That game is very good. We'll end on Streets of Rage.
Gunstar Heroes.
And Gunstar Heroes.
Well, no, Gunstar Heroes.
We'll end on Streets of Rage and Gunstar Heroes. So that was us reliving our youth talking about the Sega Genesis. If you owned a Sega Genesis, let us know in the comments. Or if you didn't own a Sega Genesis,
Tell us what we were missing.
yes.
And then we'll just tell you were wrong.
Yeah. And we probably eventually played it anyway on Game Boy Advanced.
Like if you like.
Subscribe if you really like.
At me on Twitter, at Bob Wolf.
At me on Twitter, at WolfDammit.
Like us on Facebook, The Wolf Den.
Facebook.com/TheWolfDen.
Thank you very much. And have a good night.
Although the truth is, Stan Lee didn't want to bring him back because he really fucking hates teenage sidekicks. He has no problems making teenagers heroes on their own, but the second you stick him with an adult hero for a partner, oh, that's too unrealistic.
The game also gives you an opportunity to watch one of its advertisers' videos for a free revive. That's not very Sonic.